military. Because he's a good friend of mine and he's a funny guy. Give it up for Tommy Scott.
As you probably already can tell, I am Mexican. My mom, like lately, she's been acting really Mexican. So, like she's been buying fruit from local taquerias and trying to speak Spanish. It's like she's trying to return to her roots, you know, like heritage. I'm like, Mom, if you want to return to your roots, go cut the grass. No, that's okay though, because I'm Mexican, kind of. My dad's actually white, so I'm like a white beaner. Which actually makes me a wiener. I try to explain this concept to my friends, right? They always try to offend me and make jokes about me. They're like, oh really, you're half Mexican? Well, half my lawn needs to be mowed. I just stare at them. They're like, oh, did we offend you? No, just half of me's too lazy to care. You know, I know I look really white, you know, but I feel Mexican on the inside. Every time I visit my aunts, they welcome me. Hola. I respond, hola. My grandpa would welcome me. He'd come up, give me a big hug. Ay, mijo, you're getting so big. I'm like, I ain't your hoe. My mom actually tries to write jokes for me too and give me ideas. Like just the other day, she was watching this Asian comedian on TV. She turns to me and says, Tommy, you should say I'm Chinese. I'm not going to get up on stage and lie to people, you know? She goes, why not? Because I think they know. And instead of a wiener, what would that make me? You know, like a wink? My jokes would consist of, the DMV is the only place I have ever failed the test. I do have a lot of people coming up to me after shows. They're like, hey, do you know who you look like? I'm like, no. They're all, Seth Rogen. Is that a compliment to Seth? Two others that I get are, hey, you could be Seth Rogen's younger, awkward brother. And my favorite, hey, you look like that one guy from Superbad. You know the fat one? Yeah, you look like him on a Subway diet. There should be rules to saying somebody resembles another person. Like it should only be a compliment. Or at least give me one ahead of time, you know? Like, hey, nice shoes. You know who you look like. My favorite person that I filled on my ethnicity was my Jewish acting instructor. He thought it was one of his people. Which is stupid, because I don't look Jewish. It doesn't make sense to me, like, what would my occupation be, being a Mexican Jew, or a moo? Would it be like stealing people's jobs and then selling it back to them? Wholesale. Who am I supposed to see in my tortillas? Moses? I've even encountered anti-Semitism before. You know, a Catholic guy came up to me, he's all, hey, thanks for killing our Savior. I'm like, well, you go to church every Sunday and pretend to eat him. Who's the real bad guy here? It's uncomfortable walking into churches too. Like I always get dirty looks from people. Like, how'd you get in here? So you guys need new security. But what people don't realize is that I was actually raised Catholic. You know, my mom even used to be a nun. You know, which if you think like Brides of Christ and God and everything, theologically, a theory of mine is like I'm the brother of Jesus. But that's like a free pass into heaven, even if I were a Jew. That got quiet. Could you imagine if Jesus resembled me though? Right? Like I'd have people coming up to me, hey, you know who you look like? Jesus Christ. Is that a compliment? To Jesus? No, two others that I get are, I could be Jesus' younger, awkward brother. And my favorite would be, hey, you look like Jesus if you were fat. You look like a fat Jesus on a Subway diet. There should be rules of saying I resemble another person. You know, or at least give me a compliment ahead of time to soften the blow, you know? Like, hey, nice sandals. You know who you look like. Anyway, that's my time. I'm gonna go.
Give it up for my accountant, Tommy Scott.